Hello everybody, this is Trina. I am going to do a quick, see if I can zoom out a little bit. Add in, there we go. Do a quick tutorial on how I made these flowers. I'm just going to do the one about this size here. And we'll go from there. So let's get started. Okay, so to start out, I think, let's see, you'll need these hearts, and obviously if you have a die cut machine, that's great. Like if you have an electronic one, you can cut out mini hearts. I have both, but I wanted to use my basic hearts from Close to My Heart. These are the thin cuts and my Big Shot, and these are really thin dies, and they have come on a magnetic sheet, and there's 4 different size hearts, and I was very excited to be able to craft some flowers out of them. So that's where you're going to start. You're going to do a whole bunch of different colors, whatever colors you want. And I believe, let's see, it's been a while since I've done this. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, for the first layer is 4, second layer is 4, and then the next layer is 4. So I'm going to go ahead and do, let's see, I'm not sure, I don't really like how strong that is on that one. So I think I'm just going to do these here, and we'll get started. You will need some liquid glass or a fast drying liquid adhesive. Liquid glass from Close to My Heart is one of my favorite for that. And we will also need some twine. Some whisper twine is what I'm using. You can probably use any color you want to go with your papers. You do want to kind of make it sure it doesn't overpower the flower. So to get this prepared, I'm just going to take it and I'm going to make a single knot. I don't know, there we go. And I don't want a whole lot of excess on the end. I'm just going to trim off the same amount on the other side. And I'm going to do that 5 times. You can, the more you have in your center of your flower, the more full it's going to be. So that's kind of on preference. I think that one's a little long, so I'm going to trim that off over there. I'm wondering if I move that back a little bit. There we go. You just tie that and pull it, and then you just trim off the other side. And you'll do that 5 times, which I think I've already said before, but that's alright. I'm just making sure the directions are kind of easy to follow. 1 more to go. Alright. Now to prep those, I'm actually going to do that first. I use my foam pad, which is for paper piercing, and my piercing tool, which this is kind of an old-fashioned one, but I love the rounded edge here. It works really well. So I'm just going to take my piece here, and I'm going to kind of fan out or fluff the strings. And the nice thing about these is if you get the string a little bit too long, you can always just trim it off. You get it too short, and it's pretty easy to make then another one. And it's also helped me to learn that everything doesn't have to be perfect, which I sure do try. I'm sure many of you can relate. Alright, so those are ready to go. And I'm going to actually use this again for my 4 base. I'm going to use it for all the hearts, but I'm just going to use it for my base right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push right here on each side and go in a circle. And it helps kind of roll the petal up. So this is flat and this is curved. And you can do as much or as little as you want to make your petal shape. That one's a little bit more, so I'm just gonna add to this one. And I've heard that you can spritz your paper and it makes it a little bit easier as far as the paper not warping quite so much, or it warps without having creases and stuff. I don't mind the creases, it just kind of makes it more aged, and you know, back in the day they didn't have the ability to hide creases and stuff like that. They just went with what they had. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue the rest of these. And that's 12 hearts altogether, and these are all the same size. Actually, I'm not going to do all 12 hearts. I'm going to only do 8. Because the centers are a little bit different, and I will do this to them as well, but I'm going to, I found a way to make them a little bit smaller of a heart for the to be the appropriate size for the center. Okay. So I'm going to set that aside. I think that's it, right? Nope, one more. Alright. So here are these, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some adhesive right here on the tip, because we want to make sure that these sides are easy to kind of adjust. I think I'm going to go ahead and move these in farther so that the tips are touching. Like that. Look at that, I still ended up with one less than I should have. This one we're going to just put right over the top of the center, or the edge there. Again, just using the tip, or putting adhesive on the tip. I like to do opposites for some reason, but it's totally your choice. And I will have to do that fourth piece real quick as well. Luckily, it's very easy to do. Sorry about that noise, I was just trying to adjust my light. There we go. And then just a little on the tip. And there we go. So that is our first and second layers. Press it down in the center. And that's what you get so far. I love that paper, it's so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside and we'll work on these. So for these, we're going to fold them in half, making sure that the color that you want to show is on the inside of the fold. And I add just a tiny bit of adhesive right inside the front, and you don't want too much because you get an excess amount. It gets all over your fingers and my pants, evidently. I really should be wearing my apron too. And then we're going to do that to all four. I'm going to grab myself a wet wipe. See if I can just put it right there on the tip and fold it. Not sure if it'll work the same, but willing to try. I don't know if it's got enough of the adhesive. So definitely fold it first, I think, would be my suggestion, because you kind of want to be able to push it into the fold a little bit. These hearts seem to be symmetrical, so they're pretty easy to fold without trying to make them even on both sides. They pretty much do it all the work themselves, which is lovely. Alright, so let me get my scissors here. So our next step is to take the little folded petal and we're going to open it up, and you're going to hold on to the part that you adhered and closed up, and you're going to open it right up like that, and there you got your little heart. So what I do is I just fold it over and I trim it off. You don't want to trim it off too close, because if you just trim it off the whole back, the whole thing will fall apart. You want to make sure that you have a little flap here so that you can keep the piece together. So I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive right here on this little back flap and glue that down. And then I'm going to do that to all four of them. Oh, see what I did? Cut it too close. But I can see where my fold is, which is nice. So I'll just add a little bit of adhesive right there. And make sure it doesn't show in the front. Most of that will be covered. Anything that sneaks its way out should be covered by your center. Here we go. That was a lovely pine cone coming down from our tree. And then I'm just going to glue that and set that aside. And I'm going to go ahead and do that with all the rest of them. It just takes a little tiny drop for the backs, which is great. Now, once those are dry, I'm going to get out my pad, my foam pad again, and I'm going to use the back edge of my piercer for curving these as well. There we go. I had a little wet adhesive still. That's okay. It won't hurt anything. One thing that's nice about these flowers is that you can add as many or as little layers as you want. Okay, and now I'm going to take these and I'm going to place them right there over the top of the seam again. There we go. Just a drop on the tip of the flower. Get the tip of this one as well. And then, that's what we've got. Isn't that cute? Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 5 pieces of twine and I'm just going to kind of fold them. So I'm just going to grab the fibers up and that'll leave me the knot. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive on the edge of that knot or the back side. And I'm just going to stick it down. Alright. And then I'm going to do that same thing with the other 4. And the liquid adhesive on this, or the liquid glass on these, on the fabric or the thread, seems to take a little bit longer to dry, so once you set them down you'll probably want to just kind of let them be. for a while. One more. And using your piercer to move things around where you want them works pretty good as well. And then once they're dry, you can fluff them up. This is a larger one that I've done, and that's the center. I did 10 in the larger flower. But I love how it's actually, like, you know, it's fluffy and poofy and much like the centers of flowers actually are. So, alright, and that would be the flower. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial, and I hope you guys give it a try. It was actually really fun. So, I will talk to you later. I will have links in the description below for all the products that I used, and I hope to have my finished project up soon that includes these flowers, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching. Bye!